my name is Silly and welcome back to the Little Reader's Corner. Today I am talking about some back to school reads. So since it is the back to school season, a lot of people are going back into the classroom, whether you're an educator or a student, where you're going into high school, college, university, who knows? It is the season to get back into school. So I have a couple of stories that take place in both high school and university, or study abroad programs, or boarding schools. So if you want to get back into the school spirit, then these are some really fantastic reads that you should definitely check out. So first up, Boarding School. Her Royal Highness is written by Rachel Hawkins, and this is a female-female romance that takes place in, I believe, either Ireland or Scotland. And it is about Millie, who is going through a really tough time in her life. And she gets into this boarding school program in Scotland. She's very excited, and then she meets an actual princess at this boarding school, and there is a bit of a romance as well. This is a really lighthearted read. It's really fun, and it is about 250 pages, so it's also a pretty quick read. Next, I have two very classic dark academia books. So if you want to get into the dark academia spirit as well as the fall back to school spirit, then these are the books for you. Both of these take place in kind of elite old East Coast schools. The first one that I'll talk about is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This starts off with a group of Shakespeare actors at, I think it's a college. It might actually be a high school. It might be a high school. I'm not so sure. But these four main characters are going through their lives, preparing for plays. And then there's also a different timeline going on when there is a murder investigation with a detective and one of these people, as they're trying to uncover what went wrong on this one night where someone was murdered on campus. It's a fascinating read. If you're into Shakespeare or the dramatic arts or looking for some dark academia, this is fantastic. And then we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So this is one of those really classic dark academia books. I spent about 3 months reading this, and I really enjoyed my time with it. So this is about a group of students at a East Coast university. They're all Greek students, part of the Greek program. They're all a little snobby, a little elitist, and they're part of this really small group. And tensions keep going higher and higher, and some more things start to unravel until there is a murder that happens. And it's this tight group of friends trying to get through this incident as well as move on and try to cover up something, because they may or may not be involved somehow. So this is definitely what I would recommend if you're interested in a slow read. It is not fast paced. It is there for you to take your time with, in my opinion, and it's good to just kind of keep on the side and keep on reading. Next up, I have quite a few high school setting contemporaries that you might be interested in. First off, we have Perfect on Paper. So this book has excellent bisexual rep and is about our main character Darcy, who is running this relationship advice locker where people can slip notes into the locker and ask for some relationship advice. She has never actually really experienced a lot of romance herself, but she watches a lot of YouTubes, she reads a lot of blogs and forums and books about relationship advice, so she feels she is qualified to give out this advice. Until something goes a little wrong. She ends up giving advice to someone that she is personally involved with and starts to kind of meddle with that relationship. But then there's also someone that she becomes closer with once they find out that she's the one behind these locker letters. This book is so much fun. The representation is phenomenal. I read this within 2 days. If you're looking for a fast read that will just really hit you in the heart and be wonderful, then this would be the book for you. Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. Next, I have Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This is one of my favorite books of all time. Frances is studying her butt off every single day and wants to get into this specific college, and she doesn't let social life or anything else or what she really wants to do get in the way of that until she makes this amazing friend, Aled. When the trust is broken between them, she is kind of caught between who she once was and who she wants to become. She finally feels like she has control of her life when it all just falls apart, and this is such a wonderful story looking at oneself, and it is just such a cozy and comforting read. I loved it so much. So if you're looking for something like that once the school year has started, definitely check this one out. And I know that there are many other books that will go perfectly along with this one because they're all set in the same world, written by Alice Oseman, and I am really looking forward to reading those other ones. So if you have read Radio Silence, then you can check out those. Next up, I have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This is one of my personal favorite contemporary romances of this past year. This is about Liz Lightly, who really wants to get into this one college program, but she and her family just don't have the funds for that. So when she finds out that the person who is nominated as the prom queen actually gets a pretty large scholarship, she decides that she's going to run for prom queen to get that scholarship. This also has a female-female romance, and it is such a cozy and comforting read. It has such lovely friendships as well, so highly recommend this one. Next up, we have one of my favorite books of all time, but I don't think I've talked about it too much recently, and that is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. I love this book so much. If you are interested in grilled cheese rivalry and Twitter used in a very positive way, then this will be the book for you. This is about Pepper, who is an overachiever, a perfectionist, has just so many different things on her plate, and she is trying to do everything to her fullest capacity. But she's also managing the Twitter account of a large corporation that her family runs, which has just started a new grilled cheese recipe. And then we have Jack, who is just the class clown. He is just constantly getting on Pepper's nerves, and his family owns this little grilled cheese shop on the corner that his grandma created the grilled cheese recipe for. So the conflict arises when there is a debate if this big corporation stole the grilled cheese recipe, and there becomes a viral Twitter war between the two Twitter accounts, and neither of them know that they actually know each other in real life. This is such a cute and fun romance. I love it so freaking much. It's set in a high school, and it just has all the good things, everything you want. It's so good. Next, I have A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahara Mafi. This is about Shirin, who is a 16-year-old Muslim girl who is tired of being stereotyped. This takes place in 2002, right after the 9/11 attacks. She is dealing with constant bullying at her school of people stereotyping her in the worst possible ways, rude comments and bullying constantly, and all she wants to do is listen to music and breakdance with her brother. Then she meets Ocean James, who is the first person in a very long time who really wants to get to know her, and she is absolutely terrified of that. Shirin is so used to having her guard up all of the time with everything that's going on that she's not even sure she knows how to let it down. This book is highly emotional. It is such an impactful read, and you should definitely check it out. And lastly on this list, I have a study abroad / going into college book, and that is Again by Better by Christine Riccio. So I have two different copies of this. I'll just hold up one for now. This is about Shane, who is going into pre-med in college, and she just doesn't connect with it at all. She feels like she's doing everything wrong, and when an opportunity to study abroad in London comes up, she decides to go for it because she's just not even sure what she wants to do anymore. She goes to this program and she meets a lot of lovely new people. She falls in love, and she discovers an entirely new passion that she had been pushing down an entire time. She makes so many different new experiences, and she sees how her life will turn out differently. There is also a little sprinkle of time travel magic in here, which brings just a whole lot of new flavor to this. This is exactly the kind of read if you are just feeling in a rut, if you are feeling like you just aren't really sure what your path is going to be, then I highly recommend this book for you, because it is wonderful and it really just gives you that hug that you need. So those are the back to school books that I'm going to be recommending today. This is just a little sprinkling of different stories that all take place in school settings, whether it is high school, study abroad, boarding school, college, or university. all of these books have some little piece of going back to school. If you are going back to school this season, I wish you the best of luck. I hope everything goes well. I hope you stay safe and you start off this school year with a bang. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and definitely subscribe so you know the next time I upload a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!